During the World War II, certain fighter aircraft faced daunting odds with notably low kill-to-loss ratios, underscoring their struggle against more advanced adversaries. This might be due to outdated designs, inferior performance capabilities, and occasionally, the skill levels of their pilots. The kill-to-loss ratios presented here are approximations, as exact figures are challenging to determine due to varying historical records and contexts. If you are aware of any aircraft not included in this list or have additional information to share, we encourage you to comment below to enrich our understanding of this crucial aspect of aviation history. At number 8, the Potez 630. This is a multi-role aircraft developed for the French Air Force in the late 1930s. During World War II, the Potez 630 suffered significant losses and had limited success in combat. Used primarily as an interceptor, it faced challenges due to its slower speed compared to German aircraft like the Bf-109E. The exact number of Potez 630s lost in combat is difficult to ascertain, but many were destroyed by enemy forces and strafing attacks, particularly during the German invasion of France in 1940. Despite its shortcomings, the Potez 630 did engage in combat missions, contributing to the defense efforts against German forces. The estimated kill-to-loss ratio of this aircraft in air-to-air combat is 1 to 1.2. Number 7. The Heinkel He 162. This was a German single-engine jet-powered fighter aircraft. It first saw combat in mid-April 1945 and it lost 13 numbers of them. 10 of the aircraft were operational losses, caused by flameouts and sporadic structural failures. Only 2 of the 13 aircraft were actually shot down. In the last days of April, as the Soviet troops approached JG-1 unit, all of JG-1's aircraft were grounded on 5th May when General Admiral Hans-Georg von Friedeberg signed the surrender of all German armed forces in the Netherlands, Northwest Germany, and Denmark. Anyway, the estimated kill-to-loss ratio of this aircraft is 1 to 1.5. Number 6. The Morane-Saulnier MS.406. This is a French fighter aircraft that entered service in 1938. Throughout the Phoney War, a total of 10,119 fighter missions were reportedly flown over the Army zones on the border, around half of which was being flown by MS-406 fighters. The MS-406 was overall outclassed by the Bf-109. Of the MS-406s that saw action against the Germans, heavy losses were incurred. Reportedly, 150 aircraft were lost in action, while a further 250 to 300 fighters were recorded as having been lost through other causes. The MS-406 holds the unfortunate distinction of being the least effective French fighter in service during the Battle of France. The estimated overall kill-to-loss ratio of this aircraft is 1 to 2. At number 5, the Dornier Do. During the Battle of Britain, the Dornier Do, initially effective in low-altitude attacks, struggled with higher-altitude operations, making it vulnerable to faster RAF fighters. On 15 September 1940, the Do-17 units faced severe losses, with 20 aircraft shot down and 13 damaged. From August to October 1940, it experienced heavy attrition, losing between 132 and 171 aircraft, leading to its replacement by the Junkers Ju-88. In Operation Barbarossa, the Do-17's limited bomb capacity and range led to further losses, with Kamgash Raider II losing 24 aircraft in aerial combat in 1941. During the French campaign, the Do-17 also suffered, losing 19 aircraft on 10th May 1940 and 16 more on Dunkirk on 2nd June 1940, highlighting its vulnerability in contested airspace. Thus, the combined kill-to-loss ratios in an air-to-air combat is estimated to be 1 to 2.5. At number 4, the Polikarpov I-16. This is a Soviet single-engine, single-seat fighter aircraft. During Operation Barbarossa in June 1941, the Soviet I-16 suffered heavy losses against the Luftwaffe's onslaught. Initially numbering 1,635 aircraft across various variants, within 48 hours, intense combat reduced the fleet to 937 operational planes. By the end of June, only 873 remained, with nearly 100 requiring repairs. Despite its maneuverability advantages against the early Bf-109s, the I-16 was outclassed in speed, climb rate, and armament by its German counterpart. These deficiencies, coupled with strategic targeting of its airfields, contributed to substantial losses in the early conflict, challenging Soviet air superiority efforts. Thus, the combined kill-to-loss ratio of this aircraft in air-to-air combat is estimated to be 1:3. At number 3, the MiG-3. Delivered to Soviet regiments beginning in spring 1941, quickly revealed its challenges. Despite extensive improvements over the MiG-1, it remained demanding to fly. By June 1941, there were 1,029 MiG-3s, but only 494 trained pilots. High-altitude combat where the MiG-3 excelled was rare on the Eastern Front. At low altitudes, it was outclassed by the Bf-109 and even the Yak-1. Forced into ground attack roles, the MiG-3 suffered due to its unsuitability. By May 1942, most MiG-3s were reassigned to the Soviet Air Defense Forces and the Navy. Overall, the MiG-3 experienced high losses, with 1,432 shot down, the highest percentage loss among Soviet Air Forces fighters. Thus, the combined kill-to-loss ratio in an air-to-air combat is estimated to be 1:3.5. At number 2, the Nakajima Ki-43 Hayabusa. Initially dominant due to its agility and superior performance, began to suffer heavy losses as the Allies introduced more advanced aircraft and improved tactics. Despite early successes in regions like Malaya, Burma, and New Guinea, the Ki-43's light armor and inadequate self-sealing fuel tanks made it vulnerable. As the war progressed, it faced increasingly capable Allied fighters like the P-47 Thunderbolt, P-51 Mustang, and the F-6F Hellcat. From October to December 1944, 17 Ki were shot down, with their pilots claiming only few Allied aircraft. Additionally, inexperienced pilots further contributed to high attrition rates. Many Ki-43s were eventually expended in kamikaze attacks or continued service in defensive roles over Formosa, Okinawa, and Japan, often against overwhelming odds. Thus, the combined kill-to-loss ratio in air-to-air combat is estimated to be 1:4. At number 1, the Fairey Battle. This is a British single-engine light bomber. It has a relatively low speed, limited range, and inadequate defensive armament of only two 7.7mm guns left it highly vulnerable to enemy fighters and anti-aircraft fire. In May 1940, the battles of the Advanced Air Striking Force suffered many losses, frequently in excess of 50% of aircraft sorties per mission. By the end of 1940, the type had been withdrawn from frontline service and relegated to training units overseas. As an aircraft that had been considered to hold great promise in the pre-war era, the battle proved to be one of the most disappointing aircraft in RAF service. The kill-to-loss ratio in an air-to-air combat is estimated to be around 1:5. Well, with this, we're rounding up for today, but stay tuned for more exciting videos from The Buzz. We hope to see you soon again. Bye-bye.